turn right at the roundabout, the major roundabout on the first corner of the National Road Championship circuit here in Buninyong. They'll take a right-hand turn, 9.7 kilometres to go, and they will start the ascent of the King of the Mountain, the Cat 3 King of the Mountain, which will finish at the King of the Mountain point of the National Road circuit. The climb itself is 2.5 kilometres. The King of the Mountain climb is 2.5 kilometres. And well, 57 seconds, as we said, is the confirmed gap back to the peloton as they go up this last rise. They've just got to keep pushing themselves. I'm very proud of Liam and Nick White out there today representing Ballarat, but so too I'm proud of Alistair Donoghue. He's done a great ride, and the Dutchie from Roompot, Etienne Van Empel, just 23 years of age. All these riders in this group are young. It's fantastic to see them put themselves right out in the front, give themselves a great opportunity. And I've got to say, Van Empel and particularly Liam White look very, very good at the moment. And maybe they can stay in front for a bit longer than we expect. They'll go up this false flat here, come down, and they've got about 1.5 kilometres before they'll come into Buninyong. As the bikes start to pass, they're the scouts to keep the circuit safe for these riders. We cover back to the pictures here. So many school children on the ground. It's a beautiful town, Buninyong, host of the National Road Championships here in January. And well, they've decorated the road, the school children, as they did yesterday. They continue to write messages here on the street for the riders as they come in. And well, it's going to be beautiful to see the town of Warrnambool and Ballarat on display. It'll go to Eurosport and SBS, so keep an eye on your TV guides for the highlights packages. But this is the live stream. This is happening as we see it, as it is Van Empel from Roompot. He is leading the charge. Nick White continues to drive the pedals. He's got the big gear on. So too does Alistair Donoghue. But have a look at Liam White. He looks fantastic there in the seat. He's got the high cadence. He knows he's got to preserve the legs, because when they come into Ballarat, he's going to have to go up that King of the Mountain the fastest he has ever gone up there before. And being a local, he and his brother Nick White, they know this climb like the back of their hand. Well, Liam White, the only rider there with the disc brakes on. He's the rider second in the group. So on the front's Alistair Donoghue. Then it is Liam White from Drapac Education First. As the gap now comes under 50 seconds, they've really got to drive it to survive here. It is Van Empel then from Roompot, Netherlands Lottery. And then it is on the back, Nicholas White. He'll be just as motivated to drive this to make sure he and his brother Liam arrive in Ballarat, Buninyong, ahead of the peloton. 50 seconds is the time gap, but more and more bikes pass. It's starting to come down. Alistair Donoghue there for Mobius Bridge Lane. Nicholas White there for Oliver's Real Foods. Really representing their domestic teams with great pride. I hope you're enjoying the live coverage of this, the Surfside Holiday Parks Warrnambool Stage 2. Time gap 50 seconds, showing up on the screen at 49. We won't argue over 1 second. Well, it can be the difference sometimes though, as it is Nick White that continues to take up the lead of the breakaway. He's trying to drive it so they can arrive in Buninyong. 12 kilometres to go in the stage, just 12 kilometres to go in the stage. They're absolutely pouring everything in now as Nick White, when he peels off, he freewheels. That's how hard he's been going on the front. He wants to help his brother as much as himself get into Ballarat. This is really a significant day for them in their debut Herald Sun Tour races. This has meant a lot to these guys to start in this, the 2018 edition of the Herald, Jayco Herald Sun Tour. From wherever you're looking at these images around the world, we thank you for tuning in and hope you're enjoying the telecast. We look to build on this coverage. It's a great privilege to be able to bring these images. And well, today, very special for me personally, because we finish in Buninyong, just outside my hometown. It's amazing already to watch the national championships, the best riders in the country fight it out for the national colours. each year here in January, but today is another special day as the Jayco Herald Sun Tour comes back to regional Victoria. We started in Colac yesterday, finished in Mary Street, Warrnambool, and riders that were pre-race favourites for the general classification, some of them no longer in contention, but they will still look for stage victories tomorrow and Sunday. Rider that comes to mind, Nathan Earls, one rider. He was a pre-race favourite to run in the top 5. Unfortunately missed the split yesterday, and then that crash that involved Laurent Didier broke his bike in half. Go on to the social media for the hashtag Sun Tour. You'll be able to see all of the content that the riders, the staff and the teams share during the event, and it'll give you links to the live results. It'll give you links to the riders' photos of the day, and some incredible images as we saw earlier. If you joined us on the coverage, you would have seen that brutal crash that involved Laurent Didier from Trek Segafredo yesterday. Unfortunately, he has had to go home. He's been flown home today with injuries. He didn't break anything, but injuries were bad enough where he needed to come home. These riders look like they're definitely going to make it into Buninyong, but they're looking over their shoulders every moment to make sure where is the peloton. Continues to be Alistair Donoghue. He's doing the work now, and they can see now they're coming into the outskirts of Buninyong. This is where it becomes real for these two Ballarat boys. They're going to come into their hometown in the front of this race. Nick White looks really quite concerned. He's looking back. The riders will no longer be able to take feed from their cars. The final 20 kilometres, feeding is not allowed from the team cars. As Nick White, he's thrown down an attack. The local boy, he wants to come into Ballarat first. It's the Rombut rider of Van Empel who responds first. Liam White then follows Van Empel. Alistair Donoghue, he's just composed there. Or is he? They're really driving this pace. Maybe Alistair Donoghue's struggling a little bit. So Nicholas White from Oliver's Real Food, he throws down the first attack from this breakaway. What will Van Empel do? The Dutchies wouldn't be surprised for a counter-attack here from the Dutchie once Nicholas White stops. Well, he's in the white sandwich, Van Empel. It's a white sandwich. He's the meat in the sandwich at the moment. So it's Nicholas White in the front. He's driving it. Then it is Van Empel from Rombut. Behind him, Liam White. This is the leads. They're coming down now. As you can see, Donoghue, he's going to still try and get back in. But maybe Donoghue's had enough. And then you see it's Bennelong Swiss Wellness. They're on the front of the peloton. Behind them it is the team of Trek Segafredo. Where are the Mitchelton Scott riders? They're back in the pack. Not in the best position, in fact. So here we go. It's all set now. The riders did make it into Buninyong, but only by the metres. Only by 20 or 30 metres. It's all ready. The action is going to be absolutely fireworks on this climb. Nick White continues to drive it. What an impressive effort today. They looked there. Start of the King of the Mountain. 2.5 kilometres is the ascent. That was a really well-timed attack. Now it looks like his brother's going to have a go. Can Van Empel hold on? That was a great ride by Nicholas White. Well done today, mate. That was a great ride. It's a tough effort. 200 kilometres they've ridden as Van Empel now goes, and it looks like Liam White is now struggling as well, the local boy. It's maybe a little bit of a head crack as well when you know what this climb can do to you, but it's Van Empel, the rider we said looked the strongest in this breakaway, the Dutchie. But look at Joseph Cooper. He is pouring the herd on here. It's a headwind up the climb today, but Joseph Cooper, he's on the front. He is putting down a truckload of wattage. They call him JC Driver, and that's because he loves to drive the pack. He pulls off. Now it is Sam Crone that sets the pace. Very talented rider from Bendigo. Well, isn't this an interesting one? For mine, if they're like this, then Steele Von Off feels very, very good today. As now we see Pat Lane moving up the outside as well. And Pat Lane makes his move up the side of the peloton. Well, this is very interesting now. What's going to occur? This is the highway section of the climb for those that don't know. They then go over just a little bit of a rise here. This is a steep part of the highway. It'll then plateau out for about 300-400 metres. Then goes almost flat. False flat to the left-hand corner. Well, this is James Whelan. James Whelan's made a move. He's at 1:21 on the general classification, James Whelan. And I can tell you, he should have won the Tour of Tasmania last year, but a bit of an error in the final stage meant that he finished third. He finished second here in January on this road course in the Under-23 National Road Championship. which was taken out by Drapac Education First rider. It was taken out by Drapac Education First rider, should I say, Cyrus Monk. So it is James Whelan. He's not mucking around. He's a minute 52. My correction, he's a minute 52 back on the general classification. So the other general classification riders do not need to respond immediately to this attack. But this kid, he could go all the way. He's got the talent, there's no doubt. Who will make the next move? So from the Quartermentha Real Estate Australian national team, James Whelan. He's in the big chain ring and he's pushing as hard as he can. This is a very good move here by James Whelan. Bit of picture breakup. We apologise for that. But we should have clear pictures. It looks like it's Nathan Earl now. Nathan Earl that's made the move. Another rider that knows this climb so well. It is in fact Nathan Earl, also at a minute 53. So these two riders, very similar position on the general classification. Nathan Earl not waiting to have any help either. He's just getting on with business. This is the left-hand turn. They turn off the highway section of the climb, slightly downhill, and this will allow these riders to get some recovery, drop the heart rate, and get ready to tackle the most difficult part of the King of the Mountain. Remembering this is a Category 3 King of the Mountain, so there are 12 points on offer for the winner over the top, 8 points for second, and 4 points for third. So the winner of this King of the Mountain will probably take the leader's King of the Mountain jersey after today's stage, as I really can't see Etienne Van Empel factoring for third. So it is Nathan Earl from Israel Cycling Academy, the Taswegian. He's on the front. James Whelan, the young, exceptional, talented rider from Quartermentha Real Estate Australia, he rides for here. He rides domestically for the Inform Made team. And well, Nathan Earl, he's not holding back. Be great to see some pictures of the peloton. We'll try and bring those to you, see if anyone's coming across to these two. They'll get slight respite, but even though on the screen it looks like the climb goes downhill, that is still uphill all the way. Maximum percentage at the top, about 16%, which they'll be hitting in about 200 metres time. So about 450 metres to go on this King of the Mountain. And well, this is a very smart move. When they go over the top of the climb, they'll have just 6.3 kilometres remaining in the stage. And both these riders know this course extremely well. It's just 3 weeks ago they were here fighting it out for medals and national colours. As we now see 500 metres to go to the top of the King of the Mountain. They'll reach the top of the actual ascent. It then comes over the top and goes downhill ever so slightly. Falls flat downhill to the King of the Mountain sprint line. And while it looks like Nathan Earl, he's motivated for these King of the Mountain points. But James Whelan, he'll be thinking this is an opportunity as well for him. Right now we're hearing that the pack is being controlled by Mitchelton Scott. Nathan Earl continues to drive at about 350 metres from the top of the climb. This is a really smart move by both these riders. Firstly by James Whelan. As soon as the breakaway got pulled in, it was Joseph Cooper from New Zealand for the Bennelong Swiss Wellness team. He drove the pace on the climb. Then it was taken up by his teammate Sam Crome. But Sam Crome seemed to drop the pace a little bit, and that's when James Whelan took advantage of that opportunity. He attacked, and then Nathan Earl has come across. Here we go. They're going to have the sprint here for the King of the Mountain. I can see that James Whelan's interested, but can Nathan Earl take it out, or will it be James Whelan? Nathan Earl. Oh, maybe he's not even... No, it doesn't even look. Very smart move here by the young Whelan. That's great to see. He hasn't tried to take the points. He's thinking of the stage today. And I tell you what, earlier in the week in the women's first ever UCI Herald Sun Tour, we saw Brodie Chapman take a fantastic underdog result. She took out the tour. Very unexpected. Can James Whelan do the same here today in Buninyong on this iconic National Road Championship circuit? 208 kilometres is the distance of the stage, and they finish it here on the circuit that the National Championship is decided each year. As the group Guerrero and also Chavez have now joined the lead duo. Also there, it looks like it is Harper. That was Matt Keenan's pre-race pick. Oh, brilliant pick. Harper has followed the move from Chavez and Guerrero. Guerrero was in the front group of 9 yesterday. Harper and Chavez were back in the second group. Chris Harper, 21st on the general classification at 40 seconds as Larry Warbass makes his way back. Damien Howson, Alex Edmondson. Looks like it might be Kunda Court. Also there is, it looked like it was the rider of Steele Von Hoff is there. And now a big group of riders back. So now we'll look to see if anyone we can find has been dropped. I haven't seen yellow. Was that the yellow jersey just there? Maybe it was. Well, it looks like we've got a group of about 30 to 35 riders that are going to go to the line. Steele Von Hoff looks like he's made it over the King of the Mountain. He's the fastest rider there that I could see. And who's on the back trying to make it back? Is it Zach Dempster also in there? Lionel Mordaunt right at the back. I saw Patrick Lane in there as well for Quartermentha. So Nathan Earl and James Whelan, they up the pace. Nathan Earl will be in the King of the Mountains jersey for Iceaway Sports at the end of the day. The rider at the back here is Angus Lyons, also a Ballarat local boy. So Angus Lyons trying his best to finish in the front of this race that finishes in his hometown. We just earlier saw Nicholas and Liam White make their way into the finish. Well, can someone do a Miles Scottson? Now, he won the national title here in 2017. Can someone make that magic move? Maybe someone's got the big chain ring on today and can make that special move, take the lead of this tour. Who could it be? Maybe a Mads Pedersen for Trek Segafredo, the Danish national champion. He's got the engine to do so. Well, it is fantastic to be able to bring you these live pictures. As the JLT rider here, that's Gibson. He was in the Young Riders jersey just yesterday. Lost a minute 32 in yesterday's stage though, so he's trying to fight his way back. He's quick on the line. Well, definitely two teams with major numbers there, Mitchelton Scott and Bennelong Swiss Wellness. Bennelong had a plan when they hit the climb with Joseph Cooper driving to the line up the King of the Mountain in Buninyong. It sent a clear message to me, knowing the way they race. That meant that Steele Von Hoff said he was in good condition and able to follow any moves on the King of the Mountain. He remains in this group. Can they get organised for the lead out though? They bundled that up yesterday. They still had a rider. They had Cam Bailey in the front group yesterday, but he was unable to assist his faster teammate. It's Steele Von Hoff in the finish. That's what it's going to come down to. This is a really big group, I must admit. This is a surprisingly large group to make it to the finish. Right at the back there, it is Michael Hepburn. Yesterday he played shepherd role. He was shepherd of Chavez, made sure Chavez survived the crosswinds. Well, Esteban was one of the first riders to make the junction across to James Whelan and Nathan Earl. Unlike in the National Championship this year where they turned right just now, they'll continue straight all the way. They continue straight all the way until they'll turn left onto the Geelong Road back into Mount Buninyong. So just about 4 kilometres remaining, 4.5 kilometres remaining in the stage. Yes, there's 4.3 kilometres right now, so the stage is really now in the hard part. The teams need to get organised. And well, you can see those bright jerseys of Bennelong Swiss Wellness. That's the fluoro colours. Easier to decipher their colours than many of the other teams, but they need to get organised today. They really need to get organised for Steele Von Hoff. He's definitely the quickest there. He proved it yesterday, but it's not always who's the quickest. It's also about who's the smartest. And last Norman Hansen, he's still in there, could see the yellow jersey, and he'll be looking for a fast finish yesterday. He was very, very complimentary of Steele Von Hoff. He said yesterday, I'm so happy to beat the likes of a world-class sprinter like Steele Von Hoff. That was a big compliment. Can Steele Von Hoff live up to the hype? Trying to see Matthew Gibson. He has made his way back, Matt Gibson, for JLT Condor. I know he's a young rider, but he is a fast rider, and he's not intimidated. He won a UCI stage of the Tour of New Zealand just 2 weeks ago. Michael Hepburn still sticks at the back. Larry Warbass, he's there for the team of Aqua Blue Sports, so maybe he's there to lead out his leader's jersey of Laz Norman Hansen. Or maybe they'll turn to Shane Archibald, the birthday boy. I don't think he would have got over the top though. Great for Trek Segafredo to have Guerrero there. He's their GC man. And well, trying to see some of the other numbers. Yeah, look at Bennelong Swiss Wellness getting organised now. That's what they need to do. They would have been given a scolding, I reckon, last night in the team's managers meeting. The green jersey's there as well of Matthew Ross. He's got a quick sprint on him too. Don't worry, Matt Ross has got a bit of a sprint. But it is Bennelong. They're getting organised down the right-hand side of the peloton. James Whelan down the left. He needs to stay in that group. Lionel Mordaunt there for the national team as well. There's a few riders there for the Bridge Lane Mobius team. Where is Cameron Meyer? Cameron Meyer, haven't seen Cameron Meyer just yet. You'd have to assume that he's there. You would have to assume. But Nathan Earl, before we run into this finish, it'll be Nathan Earl that takes on the King of the Mountains jersey at the end of the day. Who will win this stage and who will potentially take the leader's jersey? Well, they're just inside 1.4 kilometres to go. This is the fastest part of the circuit, but today they'll be welcomed with a headwind. It'll be a headwind sprint, so it'll be who can time it the best. Doesn't look like anyone's going to try the Miles Scotson big move at 1 kilometre to go. 1 kilometre to go. And well, now we're ready to see, can Bennelong execute today? Steele Von Hoff second yesterday. Lasse Norman Hansen took out the stage. Can he get up there again in the Golden Fleece as they come down now? They'll be able to see the finishing arch in just about another 150 metres time. Definitely better to sprint down the right-hand side of the road today. With the southeasterly, it'll be coming across the front of the riders. Here they come now. It's a big lead out. It is the yellow jersey on the front, the big yellow jersey. He's peeled for Mads Peterson. It will be Trek Segafredo. It's Kunda Court. He does the big launching sprint, but have a look at Anthony Giacomo. He's peeled. Where's the riders now? It's Steele Von Hoff. He's on the right wheel. He's come off, and it's going to be Steele Von Hoff. He's going to go to the line. He hasn't made any mistakes today. Steele Von Hoff by millimetres, I reckon. But it is the rider from Trek Segafredo, Kunda Court, who has saluted. It's Kunda Court that has saluted. Steele Von Hoff, it was very close. Big lunge on the line. It's going to come down to the wire well and truly. How is that from the yellow jersey? He sacrificed himself there. He launched the sprint early. Well, we'll wait for results to come through. It's very, very close. Kunda Court has saluted on the line. Kunda Court has saluted on the line, but it looks like Kunda Court has taken out the stage. Steele Von Hoff, Mads Peterson, should I say. It's Mads Peterson, the Danish champion. He looks like he's got just over the top of Steele Von Hoff by the smallest of margins. Steele Von Hoff, he lunged on the line. His teammates did everything, Anthony Giacomo. But how was the lead out by Trek Segafredo? Mads Peterson, Danish champion. Is this the Tour de Denmark? I don't know. They're taking over the Danes here in Victoria. Been great to have you on the stream today, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow live and for the Lake Mountain Ascent. Thank you very much.